Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing global nuclear real-time strategy game First Strike Final Hour. I remember playing this game a long time ago, but I can't find a review I did of it, but it seems very familiar to me, so I probably played the first version of this game a while back. So I'm going to start a new game. As you progress through the game, which I actually haven't done very much, simply because the game, as you'll see, is very tedious to play and unenjoyable for most of the time. You get the same default globe view, so you basically control any of the countries that can currently yield nuclear weapons. So I'm going to choose the US because that'll be better for the video. And then you choose how many enemies you have. I'm going to bump it down to 2. It'll make it a little bit quicker. Well, let's do 3. And here we go. When you start, you get to choose between any of these superpowers. You get one on each side. So I'm going to do that and that one, which are kind of the 2 default for that. And again, you unlock more by playing more if you're into that sort of thing. So here we go. You start out with your regions. Inside each region, you can build missiles, and you simply click and then build missiles, and you can only do one at a time, which when you have a very large nation becomes extremely tedious to click through every single one of your regions one at a time. So building missiles is one thing. You get defensive cruise missiles, and you can also get missiles that attack other places. So that's kind of what I'm going for right now. Once my area is built up, I like to expand if possible. So I will use those. That was actually probably a bad thing. I'll research with these guys then. And I will do the intercontinental missile. Expand with these guys. Expand. And build another cruise. So there's no resources in the game. It's simply time. The time it takes for stuff to happen. And while it's going on, you can't do anything else. So you're really vulnerable to attack if you don't keep an eye on what you're supposed to be doing. So you rotate your little view around here. The interface has a lot of problems. Let's see which ones I want to do. Yeah, let's do that. It's hard to tell which types of missiles you have. Oop. Who has defense? There we go. There's these tiny little icons here that you have to kind of remember what each stuff has. Research. Yeah. Research with them. Do I remember right off the bat what the symbol for intercontinental missile and cruise missile is? Not really. So let's start doing some ICBMs here. Oh, look, Russia's already over here. That's awesome. Well, in that case, I'm going to destroy them. Now, when you launch missiles, you get this first strike thing that allows you to launch all of your missiles that can attack that region simultaneously. Other than that, you would have to click on an idle region and then click each individual missile one at a time in order to launch it, which is extremely annoying and tedious. And again, when you have a somewhat large area, it makes it just not fun to play, which is the reason why, honestly, I haven't played this game very much, because you kind of get the gist of it in the beginning anyway. And again, another thing, you have to click through every single one of these territories one at a time in order to queue up their actions and all that stuff. So now they are actually over here. That is Russia. You also get this little... It'll highlight the regions, but again, it's a temporary action, which is kind of crazy. So Russia is just expanding like nobody's business. So, I mean, the game is very fast-paced. You're always clicking. Always clicking. Because you pretty much have to constantly build up your missile stockpile in order to keep up with the other nations. I got that. Can I defend that? Luckily, you can just click the defend thing and it will go after them. Now, one of these things is a warning for... There we go. That's what I want. It gives you a warning when there's an incoming missile. Different missiles take different amounts of time and all that stuff. So again, it's just clicking. All the time clicking. And just clicking. That's the game. Building up missiles. And there is some strategy in when to build and when to launch and all that stuff. I'm actually going to, as soon as this round of stuff finishes, I'll go. But like I said, it's really hard to tell which areas are owned by different sides, especially when you have a lot of nations. I'm going to go after this. I'll launch all that at once. And I will wait for the inevitable retaliation here. I got nothing but defensive missiles. Again, I can't tell with these stupid icons. So I'm going to lose that guy right there. Now, this irradiated zone is temporary, which all that does is it makes the end of the game extremely tedious. Because you can just recolonize areas and take them over again, which is dumb, to be quite honest about it, until you unlock the missile that's at the end of the tech tree, as it were. And you can see how, there's no list of nations. It's almost impossible to keep up with what you're trying to do. And I'm kind of glad that they're kind of going after each other. Let's see if I can do that. Basically, the first strike is the thing you want to do all the time because otherwise you won't have enough of a defense because you have to manually defend. And again, I'm trying to find nations that have actual defensive missiles, and it's very difficult because it's hard to tell what the icons mean. So endless clicking, click, 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 which obviously makes it so that the AI is much better at playing the game simply because they can queue things up more quickly. I actually did take him out. I'm actually not doing too bad, considering. I'd really love to have a list of all your territories. I love to be able to box select regions and just fire their missiles. It would make it a lot easier to fire and then also defend. I mean, I'm not going to go through and one at a time select every single territory and send a missile because they're just going to get defended. So that's dumb. I'd love to select like 3 or 4 territories, like shift click them, and then go like that. Let's go here. Try to pick areas that will affect multiple territories at once. And also, it's good to have some territories that are on defense that just have cruise missiles, so you can kind of, like a couple of areas. I'll do that. All right. Anybody got defense? Yes, you do. There we go. Okay, how'd that go? That was actually pretty good. North Korea is unloading, though. I think they're kind of unloading over there. I actually might be able to win this one. I'm actually in pretty decent shape. Except Russia keeps expanding up here. See, it's just constant shuffling of stuff. And because areas like this area got bombed already. So why am I having to attack it again? You know, you destroyed everything, so why isn't it wiped out all the way? Now they're bombing me. So it's really just a temporary thing, and what happens is you play this endless game of cat and mouse where you just end up following each other around the entire globe. You know, trying to eliminate their last couple territories. Okay, so Russia finally gave up, thank the Lord. So now I just got to worry about the other guys. Alright, so let's just build a bunch of missiles. Again, this is insanely tedious. You also can't queue up orders, which would be super helpful. You know, expand, then build a missile. Especially when you get, like, where you're controlling half the globe. I don't want to debuild. That was a misclick. No, research. Why not? Doesn't really matter at this point. What do you have? Oh, you just have that. Alright. Go. So, I mean, I like the first strike thing, but I wish you could queue up single territories, essentially. Actually, let's expand. Doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to take this guy out here in a couple seconds. That should take out most... Wow, that was terrible. Okay, good. Also, who... So who's left? Oh, it's China. China's got that one territory left. Well. That's right, because I did 4 players. So, I mean, the name of the game is Expand, Expand, Expand. And then launch enough missiles where they can't defend against them. That's essentially it. I mean, the expansion here is really dumb, but... Alright, I'm going to take these guys out. Alright, is there any way... See, I hate... Why is there a cooldown to see where the heck they are? It's so dumb. Alright, they're here, so I'm just going to launch everything at Vietnam. Did that actually launch anything? It might not have. I don't think it actually did. I think all my stuff was actually queued up. Let's try that again. There we go. You're dead. That'll do it. You can also accelerate time, but honestly, the pace moves fast enough where it's not really an issue. You can imagine how long the games will last if there's 12 different nations playing. There we go, finally. Yay! I win. Alright, there we go. That's about enough of that I can handle. So, you know, there's no missions in the game. It just uses the same default globe every time. Changes the number of nations that go, and honestly, the more nations there are, the more tedious it is. You know, I have a very low percentage unlocked because if you don't win, you don't unlock anything usually, unless you meet some arbitrary objectives. And the game is just so tedious to play. Tons of clicking. You can't tell which missiles you have. It's hard to tell which areas are owned by which side, and why is there a time limit on how often you can see where people are? There's no list of territories. You can't fire missiles from certain territories. It's either one territory at a time, click, aim, click, aim, click, aim, and scrolling back and forth every time, or it's everything at once, which leaves you up really vulnerable to counterattacks. No box selecting, no queuing up orders, which is very problematic with nations when you're really spread out near the end of the game. And at the end of the game, there's usually stalemates because people keep capturing previously destroyed territory, and they just keep migrating around the world until you, basically take out enough nations at once to drive them out of the game. The basic strategy is, are you going to build offensive ICBMs, or are you going to build defensive cruise missiles? Are you going to expand your territory, or are you going to do research? And that's basically it. It has a very fast pace, but it's extremely tedious with too much clicking. And if you're into this nuclear type stuff, just reinstall DEF CON from whatever many years ago that is, and just play that instead of playing this game, which is any strategy that this game could have had is definitely held back by its atrocious interface. That's all I have for today. Till next time, bye now.